Well, hello everybody and welcome to Jeff's Baking Blog. Today I'm going to make some rock cakes. Now I've had a couple of requests for these in the comments on my videos, and I've made them on my blog a good few years ago now, but at that time I wasn't doing the videos, so I thought I'd do them again. Now rock cakes were very popular in my childhood and earlier, particularly during the Second World War when food was rationed. These cakes could be made out of the ingredients which were most easily available on the ration. So they're simply a cake with some mixed dried fruit in. Some people put a little bit of spice in as well, and they're very, very tasty and very easy to make basically. Now, as far as the mixed dried fruit's concerned, you can actually use whatever you want, but in the UK we can buy mixed dried fruit, which is currants, raisins, sultanas and chopped mixed peel, but you can mix and match any combination you want up to about 125 grams, 1 cupful basically. So we start off by preheating the oven to 190 degrees Celsius, 170 Celsius with a fan, 375 Fahrenheit, and we line a couple of trays with silicone mats or with parchment paper. So I'll go on to the ingredients, and for this I have 350 grams, which is 2 1/3 cups of plain flour. That's based on scooping packed flour into a 250 milliliter cup. I have 8 grams, 2 teaspoons of baking powder, 175 grams, 3/4 cup plus 2 tablespoons of light brown sugar, 175 grams, 12.5 tablespoons of unsalted butter, which is cubed, and that's been out of the fridge for an hour or so, about an hour probably. I have 1 medium egg, which would be large in the USA. Then I have 125 grams, 1 cup of my mixed dried fruit. I have a pinch of salt, 1 gram, which is half a teaspoon of mixed spice, and about half a gram, 1/4 teaspoon of freshly ground nutmeg. And again, you can use those spices or you can omit them. You could put the zest of a lemon in if you wanted to, something like that. Or just have them without the spices or any other flavouring other than the fruit basically. So that's all the ingredients. So we need to go on to make the batter for the cakes. And to do that I'm going to put my baking powder, the mixed spice, the nutmeg and the salt into the flour. I'm just going to give those a bit of a mix around, but I'm going to use my processor bowl of my immersion blender to get the butter mixed into the flour, so that will mix the spices around as well at the same time. So I'm simply going to put my flour mixture into the bowl of the immersion blender. And then I'm going to add my butter in. And I'm going to process that until it resembles fine breadcrumbs. That will only take a few seconds really. So that's good like that. And it's begun to clump just a little bit, but that's perfectly fine. So then I'm going to tip that into a larger bowl. and I'm going to add in my sugar and my fruit, and I'm going to mix those around and get those fully combined, or distributed should I say really. And because brown sugar tends to clump, I'm just breaking up any little lumps that I can see. I think I believed in the ingredients that I forgot to mention, and I will put it on the graphic, that I have 30 millilitres, 2 tablespoons of milk. I may not need all of that, I may not need any of it, but it's there to make sure that the mixture comes together into a batter. So with that distributed like that, I'm going to just beat my egg to break it up, and then I'm going to pour that in, and I'm going to mix it around until it starts to form a stiff batter. And as you can see, that's beginning to clump together, but it probably needs a little bit more liquid. So I'm going to drizzle in a little drop of the milk, and I can now see that that's clumping nicely, so I don't need any more milk than that. I'll just use a spatula to pull that all together. And you can see that's all mixed and clumping nicely. So I now need to divide that, and I'm going to divide it into 12 pieces of equal size onto our trays. And you can divide it however you like, but I like to weigh the ingredients out, and I need about 75 to 76 grams for each little rock cake. And that's about the right amount. So I'm just going to pile that up like that, and I'm going to do 6 on each of 2 trays. So there I have my 12 rock cakes ready to bake. And I'm going to put them into the oven, and I'm going to bake them for 18 to 20 minutes. They will spread as they bake, but they should bake up quite nicely. And after 18-20 minutes, I'm going to take them out of the oven and transfer them to a wire rack to cool down. Then I'll come back and we'll have a taste. I baked my rock cakes for 18 minutes and they looked as though they had baked quite well, so I took them out of the oven and transferred them to a wire rack, and I've allowed them to cool down. They're still slightly warm, but they've cooled down, so I'll show you what they look like. So they baked up very nicely, and I've already been eating this one on the top, as you can see. So I'll have a taste of it now. Very, very nice. I get the spices coming through, but as I said, you don't need to use spice if you don't want to. And then the fruitiness, I just tasted some of the candied or the chopped mixed peel. Very, very good. I mean, they're a very simple cake, a very basic cake, but they're perfect for serving in the afternoon with a cup of tea or coffee or something like that. They'd even be ideal for those who like something sweet at breakfast. Now, as for storing them, you can store them in an airtight container, but I looked at Mary Berry's recipe and it appears that she recommends wrapping them in aluminium foil and then storing them for 2 or 3 days, or freezing them and then taking them out individually and allowing them to thaw before you eat them. So you could try that as well. So that's going to be it for this recipe. I hope you've enjoyed it, and if you have, please give me the thumbs up below and click to subscribe to my YouTube channel. In the top right hand corner of the screen there'll be an eye that you can click on, and that will take you to a link for the recipe, and I'll put a link below the video as well, and I'll be back with another recipe in the very near future. So until then, happy baking.